YouTube? Welcome to episode 55 of the U.S.S. Enterprise D tutorial. I'm Zero Elite, and I just want to thank you very much for tuning in today's episode. If you haven't, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button, helping me and supporting the channel. I can't thank you enough for that. Today we have about an 18-minute episode, give or take, because there's going to be a section of the episode that I'm going to be adding on. We'll get into that in a few moments. Anyway, if you have not done this, from your current layer that's opened right here to the phaser banks, you're going to want to fill this in at the current height, going all the way around. I did say that to do that in last episode, but those of you that wanted to wait to do it, you want to go ahead and do that, because we're also going to be getting ready to add in another layer as well. So right now we're literally going to do the same thing. We have our x-axis going up to the next oval that we did in yesterday's episode. So we're literally just building that out to the same height, and we're going to fill in this gap in here, going all the way around, with the exception of our shuttle bay outline here. Shuttle bay is the area that I made a mistake on, and I don't know how it happened, but long story short, the shuttle bay area did not get captured when I was recording, building in the case for it. But believe it or not, the shape of the shuttle bay is going to be simple enough that I'm pretty confident that I can pull it up and show you guys what to do. That was actually just, I had my build up and I was looking at it and I was looking at different areas, and I'm pretty confident that I can walk you guys through on what to do. And I'll go over the dimensions and everything, so this way you can still replicate that area by area, or block by block, I should say. Sorry, now that you've got all this filled in here, we're going to continue on. We're going to be going off our next, our current height of our oval, going up to this next inner ring here. Now this next ring, we are going to have to add, I believe, 2 rows to it to bring it up at least one high than this outer layer here, so this way it's not overlapping. Because one of the reasons we're doing this is because the layering process, in which the Enterprise D layers on the top side of the saucer section. And if you don't know what I mean, go on Google and do a search for U.S.S. Enterprise D 3D model and look at the top section of the ship, and you'll get much of a better idea of exactly what I'm talking about. Not gonna lie, I'm sitting here in my stress balls. I'm a little bummed out that I lost that section of my recording for the shuttle bay. But no, I got you guys. I'm gonna go over the full dimensions on it, so this way you guys can still regardless build the same exact thing. Ironically enough, I had a similar problem when I was building Enterprise D mock tutorial. I lost part of that build, but I didn't like the way I explained it, but I'm pretty confident that I can walk you guys through it using certain key parts on the cut lines to point out where your starting points are, and I think you'll be fine. But it'll take a few minutes. It might end up blowing up this episode by 10 or 15 minutes, but I would rather blow up the episode by 10 or 15 minutes rather than just saying, hey, I made a mistake, and letting it ride and just moving on, because really my goal here is to show as much as I can. So this way, those of you looking to build your own Enterprise D, you can do that from the ground up. But at the same time, I'm still relatively new to not only streaming on Minecraft or streaming on YouTube, but doing these videos. And this is just something I have to get a little bit better with, ensuring that not only my captures are recording, but everything I'm doing is recorded and they're saved. Because I can't really narrow down if that section either just didn't get recorded or maybe I deleted it on accident. But I'm confident at this point it was either one of those two. So anyway, on this current oval that we're on right now, which is the next row in, we're adding another layer to this because we want this to stick out one higher than our current row is on. So this way, when we fill this in, there'll be a 1 block gap. We want to make a point to do this going all the way around. What I'm actually going to be getting ready to do, and I was just talking to my girlfriend about it, I think more than likely I'm going to be starting up a Discord channel. So this way, those of you that are wanting to do these builds, You have a little bit more access to maybe have a conversation with me. Also, those of you that want to just show off your builds and get ideas on things that you can do, you'll have a place that you can do this within my YouTube channel as well. And I'm actually pretty excited about that. I have the Discord up, but I'm not ready to send invites for it just yet. Once I do get all that information up, I will start putting that information out in my videos and also in my end credits video. So definitely keep an eye out for that, because I think that'll be definitely a good thing for a community, because I get a lot of people all the time, asking me different things on their builds, and it becomes difficult because there's no way on YouTube right now for me to see what they're talking about. But with Discord, I can have sections of my channel set up so people can not only post their build, maybe the Enterprise, in this case Enterprise D, they can show me what they're working on, I can try to help them out. Or maybe if they're working on another build, they're just looking to get some ideas, things like that. Or even if they just want to show off their build, I think that's going to be something else I'm going to have a section for as well. But I think it'll be a really good thing for the community, especially in scenarios like this where maybe people, they might get stuck, regardless whether it's a mistake that I made or not. Just trying to make it to where more people can build these ships and have the confidence to do so, and that they'll have help that they need to get it done. But definitely more of that to come. So now we've kind of gone ahead just a little bit, but we're literally just repeating the same step over and over again. Now from this next oval, we're going to be doing off the same line or x-axis point right up into the next ring. And then once we do that on all four sides, and we're going to start our oval, and I'm literally just skipping a row, and I'm building this our new oval off this top line here. And then we're actually going to come back and make it one block higher, so this way it's not the same height. We want that to be at least one block higher. So there'll be a 2-block gap in between our old ring and the new one. And now at this point, we're not doing anything fancy. We're literally just repeating the same pattern that's directly below us, but just 3 blocks high. It's got a 2-block gap in between it. So this way, when we fill in our next ring, you'll be able to, or excuse me, not our next ring, but when we fill in our next layer, there'll be a 1-block gap. Now, I will say this area doesn't come out perfect, and we will make some slight tweaks to it as we go. But more or less, pretty much what we're doing now is what we're going to be setting on. It's just going to be little things like coming back with half slabs and maybe 1 or 2 layers as we get towards the center, maybe adding an additional layer to it just to make it look a little bit closer to what it needs to be. But the best thing to do with that is just, pull up your 3D model that you're referencing for the Enterprise D. That's what I do. The only time I really look at pictures is when I'm looking at detail pictures of the ship for detailing the exterior. Other than that, when I'm working on the shape, I look at a 3D model. This way I can look at it from multiple angles. I can't tell you how imperative that is to the build, and that's going to be something that we're going to be getting into today when we work on the shuttle bay, because a portion of that of the ship is done, and I can't build that out freely because I lost that part of the recording session. I'm going to have to show you guys how to do that without actually building it, which is going to be a challenge, but I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be able to do that with a little bit of my own save world involved. Basically what's going to happen when we get to a certain point in this video, we're actually going to press pause and we're going to go over to my live build so I can actually fly around. This was actually my second attempt at doing today's episode, because originally I was going to try to wing it without being able to freely fly around, just going off of my recording capture, and then that turned out to be a little bit more challenging than I thought it was going to be. And I ended up scrapping that video and just starting over again, thinking about it for a little bit, and I decided that the best course of action to take on this is to pull up my save file and show you guys in more of a 3D setting as opposed to just pressing pause and pointing stuff out. I think this will be a lot better, because believe it or not, some of you might be thinking like, oh yeah, that sucks, I can't see that live, but the shuttle bay area, the primary, it's really not difficult. The pattern for it, and when I was looking at my save, and why I'm confident enough that I'll be able to do it is because the pattern was so simple that I'm fairly confident that you guys should not have a problem replicating it. And we're going to be getting to that in just a few moments here. But to the best of my knowledge, that is the only portion of this whole build that I missed. One of the things I've made a point to do to correct this, I've actually got an external hard drive, and I'm saving all my recording sessions on that, but just need to make a point that this stuff is not only recording, but it's getting saved, because kicking my butt over that, I can't for the life of me recall if I either just didn't record that one portion of the build, or I just missed it. So yeah, now we're going to be filling in this next row here within the current line that we're on. We're going to fill all this in with the exception of the middle portion of our shuttle bay. So alright, let's pop over to our live save. So we're going to use the reference of our phaser banks. We're going to come back, one cut, second cut. Literally, right on the cut line here. We're going to skip one, we're going to do a half slab. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. On the 9th row, we're going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we're going to go in 1. We're going to count out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We're going to go in 1. You're going to put a block up, because we're going to be filling that in. After you do a block up, we're going to be going back to the same height that we're at. We go in 1 and up. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Because this row right here is technically our oval. Now, we're going to be getting to the hardest part of this, but I'm telling you, it's really not that bad. So now off this was, remember, this is our primary line. And if you don't want to get too far, remember, what we do on one side, do it on the other side. So hop over to this side, and we're going to do the same exact thing. Build the same exact thing that we just built. Once you've done that, then go ahead and press play. You're going to go skip this first row right here. Then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do one block, but it's one down with a cut with this one. You do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. On the 7th, we go in by 2. And then we go up 1, skip, and then up 1. And then we fill, and on this block we just go straight back to the cut line. We go in with the cut, we go straight back, in with the cut line, straight back. At that point, you'll be intersecting with this first block here that I told you to put up. Then what you can do is add another half slab. So we go in one and bring this going straight all the way back until you hit your oval. Once you hit your oval, don't worry about it, because we're not going to be going anything past that. So, a couple more things in this area I want to talk about before I even go back to the build. And remember, if you get stuck or you have questions about this, be sure to drop a comment below. I will make time to help everybody if they get stuck on this area of the ship. But I'm going to try to point out all the things that I can think of and the dimensions that are going to be the most important. And we're going to do that right now. So off this inner ring here, when we get where it goes 2 back, off this block here, you're going to go over to the left 1 and down by 1. So this way you have a cut going this way. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to go up, you're going to do 3 more rows going up. So if you count them, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And everything I'm doing here up top, I'm going with the cut line. The only time I stray away from that is as we get towards the middle. But don't worry, I will count out that oval with you. Or I'll count out this ring with you. So we count out here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We go back 1 and left 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And the same thing, 8 on this side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Once you get towards the middle here, we're going to do a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows. This middle cut line in the back. So I do off the right side, we'll go back over this side and we're going to count it out. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 1, up 1. On that up 1, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, in 1, up 1. On that up 1, we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 1 and up 1. And on the up 1 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 1, up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now we're going to knock out the sides. You've already got this block here. Going at a cut with the angle, we're going to do 1 and 2. On this row, we can't do anything more. And if you think about it, we're going with the cut line, so it's going to start to dictate to you where you need to start adding blocks. Now, it would be a little bit easier if I can build this out, but the point is here is you start going with the cut lines, it starts to become a little bit easier to anticipate where we're going to have to add rows. That's where I'm getting at. So on this bottom row here, we can only do 3. Then we're going to go up 1. Remember, this is your primary line that we've started with. So this row is already done. There's just these sides here that we got to worry about now. And the bottom's already done. So we're going to go up to this next one. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And off this row, we're going to bring this going straight back until we hit our oval line. And that'll intersect right with your phaser banks. Now, I don't necessarily think that's going to be needed to count these out, but I'm going to do it anyway, just in case anybody does happen to get stuck. We're going to go up to our next row here. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then on this row here, we're going to bring that going all the way back. And the same thing as we go up. Again, you're just going with a cut line, bringing it, going with your cut line, and then until we get to this line right here. This is your indicator line to go back. You can see you're only bringing it up to a certain point, and then we're stopping. Which we pre-established when we did this first row. So now you can get another example on how and where how I come up with these patterns. I'm just using a set, in this case going with a cut, and that's how I'm coming up with that. So at this point you should have this first full section right here done. So if we go off, we're going to count up 1, 2, 3. Technically we're going to be going up to 4. So off the 4th row, yeah, well, it's the 4th row. We're going to be going back 1, and we're going to be going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. In 1, up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's going to bring you right to your next oval line. And really all you're doing here is you're going with a cut. The pattern that you have, you go in 1 and bring it down until you get to your next cut line. Then you stop, and then you go in 1 and up 1. When you think about it, you follow your cuts, you will not be able to make a mistake here on the sides. You're literally just filling them in. Very, very simple to build this out, I promise you. If you get stuck, let me know in the comment section. I will try to help you out, but this is why I'm stopping, taking the time to show you guys all the angles here so you can see it. And if you do get stuck, let me know. I'll try to help you out if I can. One of the things I did not add was a half slab right here, which I probably should add because that looks weird there. So you get to see one extra thing today that I built live, because that was looking out of place to me. I'm going to go around this at a couple of different angles while I'm thinking about if there's any other things I can point out that I need to call out to you. I actually do need to do the dimensions of this line right here, which I'm going to do here in just a second. But I don't foresee anybody having a significantly hard time with this. I think this should be pretty cut and dry. With these blocks here, you're probably going to be asking, well, where am I going to stop at? So this row right here, you're going to be 1 up from your oval. So you're going to stop right on your oval line. Not 1 before it, but stop right on it. We'll add to it. And that's why I deleted those blocks so you can see it, because I literally just built right above it. I did a row of half slabs on that next transition line, which you're going to run into. So if you need to count that out, use a starting point. Go off your phaser bank row. That's 1 row, 2, 3, and 4. This row right here is the last oval that I was talking about, where our bridge is going to be, as you can see right here. Alright, and I think I'm getting to the point where I'm starting to drag this out a little bit because I'm kind of over explaining it, so I definitely don't want to do that. So now I'm going to call out this line here, this way you can at least get that. So off your last block that we started at, you're going to go left 1, back 1, put a block, left 1, back 1, put a block, counting this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Up 1, left 1 block, up 1, left 1 block. You bring that straight back. Now I'm going to go over these dimensions for this cut line just in case you need them. Let's do them from this side. Pretty sure I called them out, but I'm going to do it again just to be safe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, in 1, up 1, counting this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. In 1, up 1, counting this block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In 1, up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, let's redo this last row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 1, up 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. To have that, and you flesh in these sides, the only thing that you're going to have with a gap is the top roof right here. But if you built out this side here, which I think we're going to do that here in just a second. So off of this lip, the 1, 2, 3, and 4. So off our 4th row, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. In 1, up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right. So we should be in good shape here. I'm not going to count out some of this stuff here because we are going to be rebuilding some of this area going forward. Trying to think what else I want to do today while I have this specific area up. Pinstripe on the sides, because I'm pretty certain this is when I did it, was during that part of the clip that we lost. So off of this main wall here, it's the 2nd row up. You're going to cut out a piece of the hull going straight back until we get to our cut line. Straight back, or go in 1 and then straight back again until you get to the half slab. And we're just going to fill that in with the white concrete. And we're going to do that both on the left side and the right side. Once you do that, you should only have a little bit of a gap here on the sides. And I wasn't going to do it, but I think I am, just so that nobody has any problems with their build. So off of this block here, so if you go up off of this block and this block, we're going to do our two sides. We're going to go up one and to the right and put 1, 2, 3. Up one, the right, 1, 2, 3. Up one to the right, 1, 2. Up one to the right, 1, 2. Up one to the right, 1. Up one to the right, 2. Then you're going to go down with a cut. And do a row of 2 here, and a row of 2 here. But this is where you should intersect with our old oval. As you can see, I just layered it out a little bit. But I'm giving you back the proportions now so you can fill in all of this top. But this portion we will come back and do. I'm just deleting this section here so you can see that ring, so you can see what you're building up to, if that makes sense. But we're going to hop back into the remainder of today's episode. And if you have any questions at all regarding this portion of the build, let me know. I think I've done a pretty thorough job in calling out all the proportions. I think if you start right again off of your cut lines here and start in the way that I said, you will be in fantastic shape. Don't worry about getting all the details in here and on the sides and stuff. We're going to do that later on. Right now we're just worried about getting the shape of this down so you guys can have exactly what I have for those of you that are wanting to build the same thing that I have. So let's go back to today's episode. I can get past this headache. Again, I apologize for that. You can say I was so stressed out. This was one thing that I didn't lose from this episode, was the pinstripes on the side. And there's going to be one or two things that you are going to probably see me do over the course of today and tomorrow that we've already done, that I've pointed out to you. So when you see that, feel free to skip over it. But yeah, no, that really bothered me a little bit that I lost that portion of the build, because I was just sitting there kicking myself. I don't know how that happened. It's literally one clip out of almost the 400 screen captures that I have so far of this tutorial series, which is pretty good, but it's not where I want to be, and it's not the what's the word I'm looking for? It's not the what I'm looking to do when I put these tutorials out. I really want to show everything from beginning to end. But again, you know, this part of the build, it really wasn't that hard to do. It was weird when I was building out the shuttle bay too, because it took me a little bit to fall on this point. I remember when I was building it, but then when I came up with this pattern, it just ended up being super easy. Now this row here that you're seeing me cut out, obviously I didn't have that on my build, so you can ignore this portion of it. Yeah, no, definitely take this as a lesson from me. Always double check, make sure not only before you start before you start building, that you're recording, and once that's done, double check and ensure that you're putting that screen capture in a folder that's not going to get deleted, because I'm pretty sure, in fact, what happened, because I have a process when I'm doing these. When I record these videos through my OBS software, it goes into my recording files, and sometimes when I'm making changes, I will go in, well, let me rephrase. Sometimes when I record something that I don't like, or I make a mistake when I'm recording that video, I'll go back into that folder and I'll delete it. And I'm starting to think maybe that's what happened here, that I probably made a mistake somewhere, or I was recording one of the episodes for the channel, and I made a mistake while I was recording and decided to go back and delete it, and I probably ended up deleting this portion of the episode. Now you can see that I'm making changes right now. These are the end result to where we already are. So pretty much a lot of this that we're doing right now, we can skip over. I'm just showing the rest of this, and I will call it out, the stuff that we don't, that we need to do. But the dimensions that I gave you are the end result for the Enterprise D. Um, Again, it's not something that I want to end up on, but I think that was a pretty good compromise on as far as turning a frown upside down, um, and using what I got to explain where you guys need to be. I don't know. I feel pretty good after the fact. Now that we've gotten past that, um, I don't think anybody's going to have any issues because I called out all the proportions, and I think that I gave out the correct, uh, perfect starting points. Um, and in fact, up in this area here, your ship is going to look slightly different than mine because your endpoints for your shuttle bay is going to come right up to this oval line. I remember about a few minutes ago where I was deleting blocks, this is the oval line that we were deleting blocks off of. So it'll make a little bit more sense to you, hopefully at this point, now that we're going back to that. Maybe I should have pulled it back up again so you can see, but I layered out that level to make it a little bit closer where we're supposed to be. Yeah, I'll probably say this was hands down the probably simplest part of the build that took me one of the longest periods of time to get it done. I remember when I was building this out originally, um, I sat on this section of the ship for a good while because I wasn't exactly sure on what I wanted to do. And the stuff that I was doing wasn't coming out where I wanted to be. And you know what? Now the more I think about it, that's where I'm pretty certain where this whole mishap happened. That I was going through and I was deleting bad recordings of that top section of the ship, and I accidentally deleted the one that I needed. Which sucks, but it is what it is. I'm not going to keep harping on it. I'm just going to move on at this point. And again, I can't stress it out enough that if anybody gets stuck during this course of the episode, be sure to drop a comment below. I'll help you out if I can. But just go back, rewatch the dimensions on what I said, because I called everything out. I don't think anybody will have an issue. I think everybody will be good. In fact, I'm pretty confident everybody should be good. Yeah, and this stuff here that we're adding, I'm pretty sure that I ended up editing this out of the build as well. So believe it or not, after that little mishap, you guys are actually ahead of where I am right now because you've built the finished version of the upper portion of our shuttle bay, as opposed to me trying to catch. Now I'm catching up with you guys. Was actually considering on whether I wanted to show the rest of this episode or not, but I'm pretty much just letting this ride out at this point, just in case I do end up doing something that's not part of this. I don't want to have another mishap where I end up deleting something that I shouldn't have deleted. Okay, so now we're moving into the last portion of today's episode, last 2 minutes, and this is where we're going to be adding another layer or two. Or no, this is where we're going to be doing the half slabs on top of this inner ring. And that's something that I did say that you needed to do. If you have not done that, we're going to do that now. Because that's going to help to make shuttle bay flush with this area. Just remember, we're going to come back again and add a couple more layers here to make it blend in correctly. So far, we're looking pretty good. I will say that out of all the builds that I've done, I haven't had any where where it didn't go right. Well, no, I take that back. I had one ship that didn't go according to plan, and that was my original U.S.S. Vengeance. That's the only ship that I ever started building, and I got about a quarter of the way through it, and I was so unhappy with it that I deleted it and I completely started over again. If you go back and watch some of like my earliest videos, you may be able to spot it. Um, but the only other one I think that didn't come out exactly according to plan was probably the Discovery, because there were sections on the saucer section that I just rushed through it. But it didn't necessarily not come out the way I wanted it to. All right, so now you can say I started to fill in all this in, and we're going to be bringing that up to our last oval. We're going to do that going all the way around and on the sides here. This way, when we come back in tomorrow's episode, last episode of the week, we'll be right at a point where all we have open is our middle here. So if for whatever reason you have a gap, like right here, going along your oval, or not your oval, on your sides for your shuttle bay, bring that in up until this oval here. So we're just bringing that straight back up until the oval. But I'm pretty confident the dimensions I gave you will bring you right up to that. I think at this point, the only thing you're going to have to worry about again is filling in some of the top areas here, and then you'll be in good shape. Anyway, that's going to wrap us up today. I just want to thank you all again for tuning in to today's episode. And don't forget, you can always catch my new Minecraft episodes dropping Tuesdays through Thursdays. If you have any questions regarding today's episode, or something you want to see me build, or you're just stopping by to say hey, be sure to drop a comment below. And of course, what did you make today in Minecraft? Let me know in the comments section. All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Have a great one.